Hi, welcome back. My name is James Johnson, and my expertise lies in retirement and estate planning. And today we're going to talk about probably one of the most controversial subjects, and that is how do you pay for your house? So I want you to listen very closely to what I'm about to say. You should pay for your house as fast as you possibly can. You should just always have the largest possible mortgage right up until the day you die. I'm going to say that again. You should pay for your house as fast as you possibly can. You should just always have the largest possible mortgage right up until the day you die. Now, I'm going to do a little demonstration for you here. I'm going to explain that, and then I'm going to go on to show you the numbers. You see, the interesting part about this is people lie, but mathematics doesn't. So we're going to do the mathematics today and see if this is really true or not. So we're going to start with this cup right here, and this cup is going to represent our house. And our house is currently worth $500,000. Now, if we were to go look up this house, we would find that the house on our balance sheet is under the word assets. And if it had a mortgage on it, as this house does, it has a $500,000 mortgage, that would be under liabilities. But what we want to talk about right now is we just want to talk about the assets. So we have a $500,000 house with a $500,000 mortgage on it. Now, the first question that we want to answer is, would this house go up or down in value any faster if we paid it off? And the answer to that is absolutely not. This house will appreciate or depreciate regardless of how much money we put in it. Therefore, the rate of return on equity is zero, and it is always zero. So any equity you put in this house is currently losing money based on two fronts. One, inflation. The value of this dollar is becoming worth less and less every single day. And two, opportunity cost. So if I had this money that was inside this house, I could take it out, invest it somewhere else, possibly buy another piece of real estate, get rent on that, whatever the case may be. But I could invest that money so I wouldn't be losing the opportunity cost. So we're going to start off with this $500,000 house with a $500,000 mortgage on it. So we have one $500,000 asset that's working for us today. And over here, for lack of better words, we have $500,000 in our bank account. So if we were to look at our assets today, we have $1 million in assets. We have a $500,000 house with a $500,000 mortgage on it, and we have $500,000 in a bank account. Now, I know some of you are going, well, we only have $500,000 in assets. That's not true. Our net worth is only $500,000 because when we take away the loan, we would be at a $500,000 net worth. But our assets that are working for us today are $1 million. So I have a $500,000 house with a $500,000 mortgage on it. I have $500,000 in my bank account. I have $1 million in assets. The question I have for you is this house paid for? And the answer is yes. Watch this. I move the money from my bank account over into my house, and my house is instantly paid for. So I'll say it again. You should pay for your house as fast as you possibly can. You should just always have the largest possible mortgage right up until the day you die. So once again, I have $1 million in assets. If I was to take $100,000 of this money in this bank account over here and put it into this house, what would this house be worth now? And the answer is $500,000. If I was to pay it off, this house would still be worth $500,000. But I would instantly have $500,000 in assets instead of $1 million in assets. So maybe you could explain to me why I wouldn't want to keep the money over here in this account and have a mortgage on my house. And I can tell you the only answer you could give me that would hold any weight whatsoever is I don't want to have a house payment. But when you see the mathematics of that, you'll suddenly begin to realize that having a house payment is the most important thing that's ever happened to you in your entire life, and most of you are in a hurry to get rid of it. So once again, we have a $500,000 house with a $500,000 mortgage on it. We have $500,000 in a bank account. We have $1 million in assets. Right now, this house has a mortgage and it's still paid off because I can move the money from here to there at any point in time. Now, hopefully that got you to the point where you have a little bit of understanding of what I'm talking about. But now we're going to go on and we're going to go do the math. But the first question I want to ask you is, what if everything you thought to be true turned out to not be true? I suppose you would want to know right away. And what I find is that most people are living in a box and they keep talking to the same people in the same box on how to get out of the box. And the interesting part is the directions are on the outside. Now, what's really interesting about this is when you get out of your box, you simply always get into a bigger box because you're limited by your knowledge. So going forward here, I want to start off with a little test. And if you could just go and get a piece of paper and write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to answer these questions, and we're going to do it pretty quickly here. There's not going to be any time for explanation. We're simply going to answer the question, true or false. Now, I want you to answer the question in the way that you believe, not the way you believe I want you to answer. I want you to answer exactly the way you believe. So that being said, is it true or false? A large down payment will save you more money over time than a small down payment. So write down your question, and I would guess that most of you just said true. A 15-year mortgage will save you more money over time than a 30-year mortgage. And generally, the people give the answer that that is true. Making extra principal payments saves you money. Most people would put true. The interest rate is the main factor in determining the cost of a mortgage. And once again, most people would say true. You're more secure having your house paid off than 100% financed. And most people would say true. So I want to make sure that you've gone through here now and you've marked down your answers. Was it true or false for each one of those? Be sure to hang on to that. We're going to come back to that here in a little bit. Now, we have 3 types of money. We have what's called accumulated money. These are your stocks, your bonds, your equity in your house, everything that you've managed to accumulate up to this point in your life. We have your lifestyle money. This is the money that you currently live on. Now, my first question for you is, how much time would you like to spend today on sacrificing your lifestyle? And hopefully that answer is 0. Because my rule is you live like you're going to die tomorrow and you plan like you're going to live forever. Because you just might. And I can't tell you which one it is. But see, we have a third type of money. And the third type of money that everybody has is what's called transferred money. And this is the money that we're transferring unknowingly and unnecessarily out of our life. And we do this in about 6 different ways. We do it in how we pay for our mortgages, how we fund our qualified plans, how we fund our college funding, taxes, protection, and major purchases. But what we're going to talk about just this time is just about mortgages and how people are transferring money unknowingly and unnecessarily on how they pay for their mortgage. Now, think about this. If I can find money that you're transferring unknowingly and unnecessarily, would you save it? And I hear people say all the time, yes, but what I find out is that's generally not the case. They find a new way to spend it. Comparing home financing strategies is very important. Besides the home, the most important decision is how you choose to finance it. Every well-planned mortgage loan considers the intended strategic outcome. Comparing a 15-year and a 30-year mortgage side by side is a key to an informed decision. Whether you're choosing a traditional mortgage or paying cash, each impacts monthly cash flow and long-term retirement strategies. So let's get into the mathematics here. I know it's very confusing. You go out here and you go to the bank and they've got 15-year mortgages and 30s and ARMs and negatives and balloon payments and bi-monthly payments. Oh my God, it's so confusing. I don't even know where to start. But the question I want to ask you is, how does a bank make money? Now, why don't you think about that for a second? How does a bank make money? And the answer to that is that the way banks make money is they borrow from you, the depositor, and they sell to you, the borrower. And the way they do that is every dollar you deposit in their bank, the government gives them 4, they leverage up, and then they loan that money out. And if a bank's not loaning money, then they're going to be out of business. Now think about this for a second. If a bank's business is loaning money and that's how they make money, do they make more money on a 30-year loan at 6% or a 15-year loan at 5.5%? And everybody immediately says, well, they make more money at 6% because 6% is higher. But that's really not true. Because see, what happens is when they're on a 15-year mortgage, they're getting their money back faster and they're able to leverage it up and get a higher arbitrage off it over that period of time. Think about it. When they go out and they advertise a loan to you, what loan do they advertise? They always advertise the lowest rate. Do you think that's to their benefit or to your benefit? Now, if it turned out that they actually made more money on a 30-year loan, then why aren't there 50-year loans? Why aren't there 100-year loans? And the answer to that is because only reason why there are 30-year loans is because they couldn't sell houses without them. So they need a 30-year loan out there to continue to sell houses. If they had their way, it would be a 5-year loan. It would come back as soon as possible so that they could reduce their liabilities, etc. So let's just talk about going out and buying a house. So let's pretend that right now we have $500,000 in cash and we got to make a choice. We can go out and buy a house today for $500,000 in cash, or we could go out today and take out a 100% loan on that house at $500,000 in cash. So would it be good to pay cash if we had it? Well, let's see what the math says. Let's say I took that $500,000 and instead of buying the house with it, I invested it at 6% over 30 years. Now 6% is a very reasonable number. We could tie it to the S&P 500 as an example and make a better number than that over time. So we're going to use a conservative number of 6%. That money invested over 30 years would give us $3,011,288 over that 30-year period of time. Now, if we took out a mortgage at $500,000, and let's say we paid 6% in interest, so we're going to make exactly what we're paying in interest. And over 30 years, our payments would be $2,998 a month. The sum of that would be $1,079,191. So it looks to me that if you paid cash for your house, you made a $2 million mistake. Pretty amazing, isn't it? And when you begin to understand this, and you begin to understand that typically you can make more than what you actually borrow at, and even if you make less than what you borrow at, you still come out ahead, you begin quickly to understand that paying cash for your house makes 0 sense. So the next question is, well, why do people choose a 15-year mortgage? Well, the reason why they choose a 15-year mortgage is because they actually believe that they're going to save on interest over time. The perception is the shorter the loan reduces the cost of the loan. Well, if you follow that logic, then you should just pay cash for your house. But we've already determined that paying cash for your house makes no sense whatsoever. So let's get into the weeds here just a little bit. And what we're going to do here right now is, and I love this slide, this is truly one of my favorite slides, is we're going to take a $500,000 loan and we're going to compare a 6% rate on a 15-year loan and a 6% rate on a 30-year loan. Now, I'm well aware that you can go out and you can get a little bit lower rate on a 15-year loan than a 30-year loan. I'm well aware that I can get tax write-offs, all that stuff. But for right now, we're just going to compare apples and apples. So if I had a 15-year loan at 6%, my payment would be $4,219.28. If I had a 30-year loan on 6%, my payment would be $2,997.75. Now, the bank's telling me I should take out a 15-year loan, my mortgage will be paid off faster, everything will be great and fantastic. Well, let's see if that's really true. So the difference between those two is $1,221,050. I'm sorry, it's $1,221.53. So here's my question. If I was to go out and make the 15-year mortgage payment of $4,219.28 for 15 years, pay off my mortgage, and then bank $4,219.28 for years 16 through 30, or I was to make a 30-year mortgage payment of $2,997.75, and I was to bank the $1,221.53 in a side account at 6% every year for the 30 years. At the end of the 30 years, if I made the exact same rate I was borrowing at, which account would have more money in it? Would it be the one on the top, or would it be the one on the bottom? And I can tell you that I've had literally, of the hundreds of people I've showed this to, I've had about 7 or 8 people ever get this right. And you'd say, well, how's that possible? Well, because the answer is they would be exactly the same. But here's the most interesting part about this exercise. That's not the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise is to understand this. If we had a 15 and a 30-year mortgage, and we got out to 10 years and we lost our job, and for some reason we couldn't make our house payment, and let's say we were making that $4,219 payment to the bank, and we've been doing it for 10 years, we never missed a payment, we pay early, we do everything that we're supposed to do. Do you suppose if I went to the banker and said, Mr. Banker, I lost my job, I just need a little bit of help here for the next 6 months to a year so that I can get back on my feet, can you help me? Do you suppose the banker's going to help me? And the answer is going to be absolutely not. They're going to foreclose on your house very quickly. Now, these days they can't foreclose on it that quickly, but they certainly will foreclose on your house and sell your house to get their money back out of it. Yet, if I had made the 30-year payment of $2,997.75, and I had been banking that $1,221.53 for that 10-year period of time, how many of these $3,000 payments do you suppose I could make at 120 months? I have $197,972, and interest alone is $989.86. How many of those house payments do you suppose I could make with that? And the answer is pretty much all of them. I could certainly make them until I could get myself out of trouble, and I wouldn't lose my house in the process. So I don't know. Do you think it's better to put your money in your house or to keep your money and keep control? Now, what you need to understand about putting money in your house is once you put it in your house, it's no longer safe, it's no longer liquid, and it no longer has a rate of return. And I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, that's not a good investment. So now let's compare apples and oranges, okay? So we're going to start off here, and we're going to say that we got a 30-year mortgage over here at 6%, and we got a 15-year mortgage over here at 5.5%. Not a 65.5%, 5.5%, there we go, at 15 years. Now, you can see that the difference between these two payments, is this one's about $3,000, this one's about $4,200, is roughly $1,200 a month. We're going to put that $1,200 a month in a side account at 6%. Our marginal tax bracket is going to be 30%, and we're going to do a little calculation here. So the question I have for you is, what rate of return do you think I have to make on that side account that I'm putting $1,200 a month into to have enough money to pay off that house in 15 years? And the actual answer to that question is 5.04% net after taxes. Now, here's the interesting thing. If I actually paid and made 6% on it, instead of paying off my house in 15 years, I would have enough money over in this account over here to pay off that house in 14 years and 6 months. But oh no, the bank said I should take out a 15-year mortgage. Now, I got one more thing here for you really quickly, is I want you to rethink that about this for a second. You live in a house that's worth $1 million, and I live next door in a house that's worth $1 million. We have the exact same house. We bought it at the exact same time. The difference is that you've been making bi-monthly payments on your house, and you've been paying your house off as fast as you possibly can. And as a matter of fact, you only owe $100,000 on your $1 million house. I, on the other hand, sucked out all of the equity in the house. I put it over in a tax-free or safer environment to invest in. And I've been making interest-only payments towards my house. And not only that, I over-leveraged my house, and I owe $1.2 million. So you owe $100,000, I owe $1.2 million. We go on a vacation together. We're on our way out to Las Vegas. On the way back, we get in a terrible car accident. Neither one of us can work any longer. Whose house are they going to take first? Yours or mine? And I assure you, they're going to take yours so fast, your head will spin. They will look at you and go, sorry, this is my house now, because all they have to do is sell it for $100,000 to get all of their money back out. No problem, no harm, no foul. They will literally come to me and say, Mr. Johnson, we have to figure out how to keep you in this house, because if they were to take my house, they instantly lose, because they can't get even a small amount of their equity back out of it. Get it? Now, here's another scenario. While we're gone on vacation, a giant earthquake happens, opens up, swallows both houses. Who's better off, me or you? Because all of your equity's in the bottom of the hole. You're going to walk away sad, but you lost the mortgage. The bank's security is in the bottom of the hole. I'm going to walk away, but I've got all my cash. Who's better off, me or you? So should I have my house paid for or 100% financed? Now, you can't 100% finance, but which would be better? Having a large mortgage or no mortgage at all? So, remember these questions? Let's go back over them again. A large down payment will save you more money over time than a small down payment. Well, as we've seen mathematically, that answer is false. A 15-year mortgage will save more money over time than a 30-year mortgage. As we've seen, that answer is false. Making extra principal payments saves you money. That answer is false. Interest rate is the main factor determining the cost of a mortgage. That answer is false. You are more secure having your house paid off than 100% finance. That answer is false. So, if everything you thought to be true turned out to not be true, how soon do you want to know? I want to leave you with two more things. There was this lady, she was cooking Thanksgiving dinner for her daughter, and her daughter asked her, Mom, how come you always cut the ends off the ham before you cook it? She says, I don't know, honey. She says, my mom's always done that. So she calls up her mom. She says, Mom, how come you always cut the ends off the ham before you cook it? She says, I don't know about you, honey, but the reason why I do it is because my pan's too short. So most people operate on old beliefs in a new world. We're in a different place than we were in the 30s. They can't just foreclose on your note and call your loan at any time. We're in a different place. You're in a different place. Now, whether you pay off your mortgage or not, that's entirely up to you. But the math says it's not a good idea. The math says it could be millions of dollars worth of mistake over your lifetime. So how do you feel? Put in the comments below about whether you think you should pay off your mortgage and why. Or does this make sense? Does it make sense to you? Please make some comments below. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and come back and learn some more. Remember to live like you're going to die tomorrow. Plan like you're going to live forever. Keep smiling and make it a great day.